All right. We'll call to order the meeting of the Haverford Township Zoning Hearing Board of Thursday, July 7, 2022. Present at the front table to my left, Jessica Battaglia, voting member.
Good evening.
My right, Bill Rhodes, voting member.
Good evening.
Next to Bill is Jesse Poynton, voting member.
Good evening.
Kelly Kirk, zoning officer. And Margie Buchanan, essential personnel for the zone. By Zoom, we have Bill Malone, our solicitor, and Arlene LaRosa, our stenographer. Tonight we have two decisions and two new cases. The first decision is case Z22. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Want to lead us in pledge, Bill?
Yeah. All right, please rise if you can and repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And since Arlene is going to be trying to maintain an accurate record and isn't present to see who's speaking, I may repeat your name or Bill may repeat your name just so that Arlene is clear about who's speaking so she can maintain a clear, accurate record. With that, our first decision is Z22-12, Murphy O'Connor LLC, owners of 300 Westchester Pike, Haverford Town, PA, DC folio number 2202012810. And unless someone specifically requested, I'm not going to read the rest of the advertised description into the record. But I would ask, Bill, would you please take that decision?
Sure. With respect to application Z22-12, I would vote to deny in part and approve in part the requested variances as follows. First, I would vote to deny the requested variance to allow outdoor amplified sound. Second, I would vote to approve the requested variances for the installation of the fence along Westchester Pike. And I would approve the requested variance for outdoor dining, subject to the following conditions. All outdoor patron use will be limited to the hours of 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. per the Township Code. The applicant shall remain in compliance with the prohibition on amplified outdoor sound. The applicant shall remain in compliance with all other applicable provisions of the Township Code, and the applicant shall complete the fence installation along Westchester Pike within 1 year of today's date and in accordance with the notes of testimony.
Okay. Jessica?
I agree.
Jesse?
I agree.
And so do I. That application is approved 4-0 with those conditions. The next decision is case Z22-13, Amazon Retail LLC, applicant and equitable owner by way of lease of 403 Westchester Pike, Haverford Town, PA, DC folio number 2202012970. And I won't read the rest of the description into the record unless somebody specifically requests that I do so. Jesse, you want to take that decision, please?
Yes. With respect to case Z22-13, I would vote to approve the application with the following conditions. 1, there shall be no other signs on the facade or glass storefront except an hours of operation sign no larger than 12 inches by 12 inches and any other signage required by code. 2, foot candle illumination shall be in accordance with the notes of testimony. 3, sign light illumination hours shall be limited to the hours of 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. 4, the sign shall be completed within 1 year and in accordance with the notes of testimony.
Jessica?
I disagree.
Bill?
I agree.
And I agree also. That application's approved 3-1 with those conditions. New cases. The first is Z22-16, Rachel Sawa, owner of 2802 Belmont Avenue, Ardmore, PA, DC folio number 2206-003450, who seeks a variance from the provision of section 182-208C2F1 to construct an elevated rear deck that will encroach into the required 12-foot side yard setback for a twin home by 4 feet 4 inches. Property is a R6 and located in the 6th ward.
Thank you. I actually prepared some materials I'd like to pass out.
Okay, before we begin, let me swear you in. Please raise your right hand.
My apologies.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And your full name and address for the record?
Rachel Sawa, that's 2802 Belmont Avenue. The deed's under my maiden name, Rachel Lowe.
Okay. And so you submitted an application to the township and you had certain attachments with it. To the extent you're going to refer to those attachments in this hearing, they need to be identified and marked as exhibits. So you said you have a packet of things you want us to consider. Is that all encompassing, or are there things or documents attached to your application that you also want to reference?
These are new materials. These are optional in terms of, like, there's photographs of the property and also letters from neighbors.
Okay, so also attached to your application is a plot plan, impervious surface computations. So pretty sure you're going to refer to those as well, right? You want them to be part of the case.
Yes,
You do.
yes.
So I'll tear mine out. Bill, you want to mark these?
Yep.
So what else do you have, Rachel?
I have photographs as well as letters from neighbors of support.
Okay. And how many copies do you have?
I have 7.
Okay. Pat, you can bring them.
All right.
So why don't we mark from the application materials that were submitted?
She pre-marked them.
Oh, okay, okay. That's fine. Okay,
Instead of A.1.2,
That's fine,
we'll
yeah.
just call them, and we could use that.
yep, yep. And then this will become A.4.
A.1.4. But we'll call it A4.
Okay, and the other would be A.1.5.
Mr. Wagner?
Okay, so, Rachel, is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, so just for the record, right, you've submitted several documents. The first marked A.1.1 through A.1.2 are 2 photos, right, that show, well, why don't you describe what's the A.1.1, just so we know in the record?
Absolutely. That's the rear of the property. Just because whenever I'm talking about building a deck above the driveway, I was thinking that having a visual of what the driveway looks like, as well as how close the door is to that driveway, would help to explain whatever I'm talking about, not having the flexibility to move the poles.
Okay, and so this is the area over which the deck would be built?
Yes.
Okay, and then A.1.2, is that the adjoining neighbor, not your twin neighbor, but the next building over?
Exactly. It speaks to the spirit of the neighborhood. We share the back driveway with 3 other properties, and 2 of those 3 properties have back decks very similar to ours.
Yours is the only one that doesn't?
No, there's 4 properties total, and 2 of the 4 currently have back decks.
And then A.2, or A2 is marked, right?
Yes,
That is, appears to be a letter of support from Elizabeth and John Strain at 2800 Belmont Avenue.
that is correct.
And are they your neighbors of your twin, or are they on your street?
They are the ones with which we share the twin structure.
Okay. And then you've marked A-3, another letter of support from Renee and Paul Squiglia,
My guess.
close enough? Okay. Who live at 2802 Belmont Avenue.
Oh, my apologies. They should be 2804.
Oh, I'm sorry, 2804.
There we go.
Okay,
And they are the ones with which we share the side yard property
okay.
line.
And this is a letter of support from them.
Yes.
So you have submitted 2 letters of support, one with whom you share a party wall and one with whom you share a side yard.
Correct.
And then I think we'll call it A-4 or A4, is a overhead, what's the proper word for this, Jesse? Plot plan that shows the existing improvements, and in blue, the proposed deck that you'd like to get a variance for.
Correct.
Okay. And then submitted as A5 is your maximum building coverage and maximum impervious surface coverage calculation sheet.
Correct.
Correct, okay.
No, that's all right. Now that we have that out, please tell us a little bit about what you would like to do.
Absolutely. I prepared a few notes in preparation for today.
Sure.
All right, my name is Rachel Sawa, and I'm here with my husband, Joe Sawa. I've lived at 2802 Belmont Avenue since purchasing it in 2017. As you can see, it's a very narrow lot in which my twin home and driveway are built 7 feet 6 inches from the side yard property line. Without relief from the discussed provisions, I would not be able to build an elevated rear deck above my driveway. And that's because it would be 7 feet 6 inches from the side yard property lines rather than the needed 12. To move the deck any farther away from the side yard property line would be to place posts directly in front of our garage, rendering it inaccessible to cars. And that's where the photographs can come into play.
So Rachel, just to, the blue circles that are hard against the side of the house, are those the posts that you're talking about?
Yes. And the deck is very much in the spirit of the neighborhood. As I mentioned, we share a driveway with 3 other near identical twins, and 2 of those 3s have very similar back decks. And then I mentioned the letters of support, so I'll skip through that. When I first bought my home, I regarded it as a stepping stone. However, my now husband and I fell in love with the neighborhood and the potential it holds for a future family. We've since invested time and money into the property and look to stay for the foreseeable future. Building a back deck in which we can cultivate a small but valuable outdoor space away from street traffic would make this goal a lot more feasible. So essentially, I do think that the hardships of the land would make it so the deck cannot be built in any other way without obstructing either the door or the garage.
And you would be encroaching by 4 feet, 4 inches, right?
Yes, so it'd be flush with the house.
What's the width?
27 point, the property looks like, according to A4, is 27.6 inches wide, your property?
Yes.
I'm sorry, 27.6 feet.
Oh, you tricked me.
So is that 27 feet 6 inches or 6/10 of another foot? I'm
I'm so sorry. It's been a little bit since I looked at it. I'm assuming inches, but I could be wrong. So my apologies.
approximately 27 and a half feet.
Yes, approximately.
So the variance, the requested encroachment is less than 2% the property width. Is that fair?
Yes.
27 feet.
27.
Versus 4 inches.
I don't do math past 5 p.m.
I get it wrong.
So you're looking to, you currently comply with the side yard setback. Well, the house is already encroaching in the side yard setback, is that
The
right?
house is, as is the driveway.
As is the driveway.
So we would not be adding any net new encroachment that's not already being consumed by the house or the driveway.
Would your deck be similar to the neighbor
Yes.
as depicted in A2?
It would only be a few feet difference.
So slightly offset from the edge of the house, inset, I should say.
I'm sorry.
Look at A2. See how their deck is a few feet from the side of the house.
So the one difference would be that ours would be flush with the house rather than inset. And that's because when talking to our builder, he was saying that essentially the poles need to be on the other side of the garage. So to move it over anymore would make it so the poles couldn't support the structure unless we move the poles in front of the
And
driveway.
as I see, you have a big stone retaining wall.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you plan on having any utilities on the deck, like electric or plumbing?
No.
And the deck, below the deck will always remain open so you can access the garage, correct?
Yes.
You have no plans to enclose it?
No.
And there will be no roof cover over the deck?
No.
And the railing won't be any taller than a standard railing height? You're not going to build like a wall or anything?
No.
Okay. I have no further questions.
Jesse?
So Jessica asked questions that we usually ask, but you said no to electricity, and I just want to make sure, do you mean that you won't have an outlet or any kind of lighting?
We don't have any plans to have an outlet or lighting.
Okay.
You may find, if it's approved, that you need an outdoor or would like an outdoor outlet. So
Yeah, no,
if you want to think about it for a minute, think about it.
we talked about it, but I foresee us using it mostly during the daytime. So at this point, there's no plans.
Okay.
That could change, but at this point, there really is no set plans for us to do that at any point in the near future.
No plans for amplified music outside?
Yeah,
Couldn't resist, sorry. Strike that from the record.
I say he's a loud talker, but besides that,
And so you said you've had a builder has you've consulted with a builder on the feasibility, and there's not a way to build it in any other way that would be less, you couldn't build it any smaller than you're asking for.
without making it unusable, if we were to remove the pole entirely from the left-hand side, we would only be able to build a deck almost directly above our door. And that would make it essentially inusable and also aesthetically unpleasing from the street view.
I don't have any other questions, thank you.
How will you access this deck?
We're creating a door from a window.
Okay, the window above the garage?
Yes.
Okay. And then you've set the other side of the deck back from the party wall. In A2, or A-1, or A.1.2, you, the neighbors show essentially more or less a consistent deck across both sides of the twin with a dividing wall in between. You're not going right to the property line on that side. Just wondered why you wouldn't take it right to the property line.
I would say two things, well, three reasons. One, if the goal was to try to move it over, that wouldn't be possible because of the garage, once again. Also,
I wasn't talking about
yeah.
sliding it over. I'm just wondering why you set it back there.
Yeah. Now, the second one was almost a courtesy to them. They didn't ask us to, but we were talking about and say, why even create that contentious relationship and bump up against them? And third, we didn't really feel like it was necessary for our goals to have that extra few feet.
Okay. And so just thinking, if your twin neighbor came to us asking for a deck, logistically, how, it would mesh as your neighbors have, you might have to confront that question later on, right? Because it looks like in A.1.2 that they do have separate support structures completely, but it looks like they are almost adjoining.
I would say, yes, there are definitely, I think, inches between the two of them and not feet. They're not completely identical. The one does stick out a little bit more than the other, but we can certainly consult with them as well.
No, that's fine. I was just wondering, and I understand why you set it back. I thought I'd ask a question. And then on A.4 or A4, where you show the 3 pilings or support columns that will be placed against the building, will you have an identical set of 3 in the front of the deck?
I actually do not know the answer to that. I'm going to assume yes.
Okay, and I would point out, again, in A.1.2, your neighbors have, looks like 2 or 3 posts out on the front edge of the deck, the leading edge. I would imagine unless you're going to cantilever this, that you're going to have the posts there too.
Yeah.
And, I guess I'm just questioning whether you have thought about your turning angle and how your ability to get into your garage with those other posts out and how your neighbors do it.
I would say there's a lot of leeway in the back, so I don't start to turn until after I clear that area, especially because at that point I'd probably be hitting my trash cans, or we do have a raised garden bed that I would be hitting anyways if I was to start turning that early. Trying to think if there was anything else. And yes, it would be a freestanding deck. I don't know if that's a factor or not.
Okay, well, yeah, that means you'll have columns on the front end. Okay, I have no other questions.
I have just one. Do you know the depth of the neighbors' decks? Are they about 12 feet, similar?
I actually do not. I want to say that they're a little bit shorter, probably I think about 10 feet, but I didn't measure that specifically.
Okay. I don't have any other questions.
But the the farthest projected edge of your deck is still within your rear yard setback, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Any other questions, Jessica?
No.
Jesse?
And to confirm, the rear yard setback is 25 feet, Kelly? Is that right? Yes. Okay, and it appears there is a dimension of 27 feet. So to confirm that previous question, it does appear that you have 2 feet to spare.
Yes.
Okay, no other questions.
Bill?
No other questions, thank you.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I think that's all.
Okay.
All right.
With that, I'll ask if there's anyone present that received certified mail that wishes to testify. Anyone present that received regular mail? Any other residents of Haverford Township? With that, we'll close the record on this case, and a decision will be rendered either this evening or at our next regularly scheduled hearing on August 4th. Probably tonight, if the next case goes as smoothly as this. Nice job with the exhibits. Okay.
You have the exhibit.
We'll give these to Kelly.
Yep.
Kel, do you want the original exhibits?
Yes, please.
Can't walk them to you. All right, next new case is Z22-17, Jeffrey Owens and Diane Caramanico, owners of 611 Lorraine Street, Ardmore, PA, DC folio number 2206-0138000, who seek a variance from provisions of section 182-206C6A to construct a two-story addition that will encroach 10 inches into the required 8-foot minimum side yard setback, providing 7 feet 2 inches, and to reduce the aggregate total of side yards, providing 18 feet 2 inches where 20 feet is required. Property is R4 and located in the 6th Ward. Jeffrey and Diana, I presume. Hello. Are you both going to speak? Yeah. Okay, ladies first. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Your full name and address for the record?
Diana Caramanico, 611 Lorraine Street, Ardmore, PA 19003.
I have to do separately. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And your full name and address for the record, please?
Jeffrey Richard Owens, 611 Lorraine Street, Ardmore, Pennsylvania, 19003.
And you're going to be testifying as well?
I believe probably, yes.
Okay.
Jack Burns.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And your full name and the capacity in which you appear this evening?
Jack Burns, I'm their architect, 150 St. Paul's Road, Ardmore.
So we can hear you, but just try to talk into the microphone so people who are dialed in on TV can hear you too.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you.
When you need to speak.
Right.
Because we have to bear in mind, Arlene is remote. I think she's over my right shoulder. And she needs to hear everything that we say. So you heard what I told the last applicants. You submitted a packet. There are items attached, documents attached that I'm sure you want to refer to throughout the hearing. To make them part of the record in this case, they'll need to be marked as exhibits, and then each specific exhibit with a marking scheme of A1, A2, A stands for applicant, marked and then identified for the record. So do you have any exhibits other than those documents that were submitted with the application?
No.
So, Bill, you want to walk them?
Yeah, so, all right, so by my estimate,
If we miss anything, you need to point it out to us.
Okay.
right, so at a minimum, I presume that the topographic plan of property prepared by, did you do this?
We hired a civil engineer.
McCombie? Okay.
Yeah.
So
They will not be attending.
I presume that, would it be okay to label this A1?
Sure.
Okay. And then we also received, you have to bear with me here because I have to unfold it and then count the pages so we can make sure it's correct. There is a 3 page, oversized sheets of paper. The first is entitled your existing and proposed site plan, right?
Yes,
And we'll call that A2.
okay. Yes, sure.
And then the next one is the basement and first floor plans, comma, exterior elevations proposed. We'll call that A3,
Sure, yes.
okay? And the last one is the second floor and roof plans, exterior elevations proposed. We'll call that A-4.
Great.
Okay. Was there anything else that you wanted to submit into the evidentiary record?
Did we have letters already?
There, we submitted the, to the zoning,
House is wider than the part that we'd be adding on. Which
I
the
think
part,
what Jessica's asking is, do you have trouble circulating within your current bedroom?
there's one way that we can put our bed. It's tight on both sides, as far as like we have the bed and then we have like the side things.
Okay.
And that's like a tight squeeze and in that direction. And the addition, the new room I think square footage would be bigger, but it would be more rectangular rather than square. So it would actually be important to be able to have that.
To circulate within the room? That's,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. that's-
Sorry, I didn't have
that's the
I don't have a
going for.
number, I
No,
guess.
that's
I'm
okay.
if I
sorry.
can give you an example, if I lay in bed and stretch, I can't extend this arm. How's that?
Okay,
Like the
That's how
wall
close
is
to
this,
the wall,
the
yeah.
wall is this close to his side of the
Yeah.
bed, which I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who's looking at me, but it's like a foot and a half
okay.
from the side of the bed to the wall.
So I guess my next question, which any of you could answer, would be, did you consider, right now you're 1'10" into the setback, did you consider maybe just going 10 inches? Because I did notice your bedroom, the inside dimensions are 12'3". And I guess I'm just wondering, is 11'3" acceptable, or is 12'3" the absolute minimum you think you need?
I guess this is Jack Burns. I'd like to answer that if I could. So the 8-foot minimum side yard setback right now, the existing garage is actually beyond that right now. So we're looking to encroach 10 inches into it in order to bring it to 13 feet total. So 12.5 inside the room would be, that 10 inches I think would be significant at the end of the day. There's two different issues with the zoning. One is that it's too close to the property line.
Right.
To get the 8 feet on the other.
Right, so right now you're showing 12'3" clear inside
Yes.
of the bedroom. So I guess my question to you is an 11'3" bedroom too small in terms of depth?
I would say it's close to that right now, because like you have, like, thinking about our bed, and then there's like, like on his side, there's maybe like a foot and a half, a foot and 3/4, and on my side, there's a little bit more because I have a dresser there. It's pretty close to that now.
Okay, and that doesn't work for you?
It's pretty tight. I mean, in a perfect world, the extra 10 inches would be important. I mean, yeah.
Okay, and then a question for Jack. Yes. When you were looking at laying out the house, did you consider putting the kids' bedrooms, let's say, and a new bathroom in the addition so it could be a little bit smaller, and then reconfiguring the main house to be more of a master suite?
We did. We had looked at that. And we also did a couple schemes where we looked at doing an addition straight off the back into the allowable envelope, I guess is the easiest way to put it. The house itself just functions better. Anything that makes it longer and thinner would remove it from the staircase, which would then result in turning every bedroom on the way into a hallway. So we'd be losing 3.5 feet from all the bedrooms heading back. Just the way it lays out, it's best that it's like this for them. They're able to have more room on their side, I guess. And we won't need to fully renovate the existing house bathroom that's there. The two children could split that one. These folks could have a new one.
Is your plan to keep bedroom 2 and bedroom 3 as separate bedrooms, or
Yes.
will those be combined?
No, we'll keep them separate. We wanted to do as little
We're gonna do very
destruction
little
to the actual
existing
house as possible. We'll shuffle the kids around in the bedrooms. but we're not trying to make a giant bedroom somewhere else or anything like that.
Our old door is already called our old bedroom.
So we're already
I
being
don't know if
kicked out
that's
of our room.
official for the record, but yes.
Okay, thank you. I have no further questions.
Bill?
So, as proposed, the bedroom 4, which is an existing room, it's probably your master now, I'm guessing. So, to access this, you would go up the stairs and into bedroom 4 to get to all the other rooms?
No, there's a window that exists at the top of the stairs above what is now the garage. Like, it looks out onto the top of the garage, and that window would just become a door at the top. I'm like at the top of the stairs, there's a window here, and then there's a bedroom, the current
think-
master bedroom.
What he's
I
saying
got
is
you.
bedroom
So the
I
window
got it.
turns
I got
into
it.
the
I got
window
it.
turns into a door, and
Yep.
that's the entryway to the addition.
I got it.
It's just pretty minimal in terms of,
I was looking at the staircase the other way, I got it. Okay. So, in the design for the first floor, the end result is a very large dining room
yeah.
that seems to, at least for a table of, for 8, seems to be more than ample space. And is there a reason the dining room needs to be that big? Because obviously, there might have been a design scheme that wouldn't have required you to go out to the side so far if you had maybe made more efficient use of that space. And Greg, you can answer this if you prefer, it doesn't matter.
Sure, this is Jack Burns again.
Or Jack, I'm sorry.
The dining room table is kind of a graphic. It probably shouldn't even be on there at all. The way they've set up their home, there's a number of different functions that happen in each of the different rooms. So the dining room will be a dining room, but there's also a significant amount of furniture that will be in there for other things. And just at the end of the day, it will be a better space and more functional and more flexible long-term for them. The goal is to stay in the house. Forever is a strange term, but they're not looking to move out of this home, and they want to raise their children there. And I mean, we're not additional children.
No,
But
I can give you another answer about the dining room. It's just more open down there, and to go back to what I was saying before, we have 2 kids who are going to be needing to do homework downstairs. To me, the dining room is like sort of the central hub of that we spend so much time in our dining room right now with a 4-person old office table, like circular thing. Our daughter loves crafting and building, and she'll turn any recycling box into some masterpiece of repurposed trash. Like, she's constantly, so, there would probably be a table in the corner for that. We just want our family to be there, and, we both have, well, I definitely have a very large extended family with a lot of cousins that all live very close, and having a space where, Christmas Eve could get held would be important, because right now where it's on the fritz, people don't necessarily want to hold it. And, if I had my aunts and on my dad's side alone, my aunts and uncles, my cousins and their kids, we're talking about 70 people. And so, and maybe we just use that space, every inch of that space once or twice a year. But we'd really like to have the option to have more large. We've spent the last however many years we've had the house not having anybody over because they don't fit in our house. And so it'd be really important to have space to, even if it wasn't on an everyday usage, be able to have the whole family there and not have to not celebrate things the way that we would intend to because we don't have space to have people there.
And that space is currently your kitchen?
Our kitchen
An
is,
eating kitchen, is that what it is?
that space, we eat in it, the kids build stuff in it. There's a desk in there for trying to get them to do some work downstairs. But it's so small, the TV is in sight of every piece of the downstairs minus part of the kitchen. So, yeah. So the dining room is really large. It would serve more than just eating during most of the year. And then it would definitely be a space that we could have the family over, special occasions.
Currently, yeah. So, Jack, just one question so I understand. On page A3, in the lower right, which is the side facade, there's little red dashes on the design, indicating perhaps existing window, is that existing fenestration that you'd lose because you're building out? Is that?
Yeah, this window located right here is the window that we were just talking about turning into a door beyond. It's in the existing facade that's away. And then this outline right here is the existing garage.
Got it, okay.
That's there.
Okay, right, and then the picture to the left, the basement floor plan proposed, that's from the street, and you can see the, it's a one-story garage currently, is that right? Yes. And so nothing above it?
No.
Okay, and that's what those red dashes are? Okay, I don't have any other questions.
Anything else, Jess?
No.
Jesse?
Yeah, I had a question about I just wanted to confirm something. For the driveway, without the garage, I just wanted to make sure that, and maybe Jack, you can answer, whether you can confirm that they will have the required 2 9x18 parking spaces?
They will, yes.
Okay. It'll be side by side? Okay. And then I noticed that the rear deck, you're not asking to go all the way to the same width that the proposed addition is going. You're proposing to keep the deck at the 8-foot max side yard setback, or sorry, it looks like it's even at the current 9-foot. Is there?
It currently is, yeah. We're not looking to do a whole lot of deck right now.
No one's laying down on the deck regularly. So.
Actually, I have one more question.
It may be a patio, actually, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So I understand, it seems from your testimony that the driver of the width is your master bedroom
Yes.
and the room itself. Is there a scenario where you would be willing to, let's say, accept a condition that the master bedroom can protrude into the side yard, but the rest of the addition would have to comply?
Like cantilevered out over top.
No, so the master bedroom and let's say whatever is underneath could go out 1'10", but then once you pull back from the master bedroom, so your walk-in closet, your bathroom, and then down below.
Oh, like the back part of the house be less wide?
Be less wide.
Well, I think
Sorry, this is Jack.
Go ahead.
Again. Would you be looking for the 10 inches to stand in
For the
the
one,
cumulative
for
20?
the
The
1'10",
full 110.
yes.
It's a little tight in the kitchen, but when we were laying this out all along, we're preparing for the eventuality that it might happen. The kitchen and the bathroom can get.
Okay, just understanding that, the master bedroom is really.
Can I add something? One of the things
Sure.
we did talk about from the lower floor was the kitchen, and then there is a pantry and powder room. And that extra 1'10" could impact the ability to have that.
If that pantry and powder room is under the master bedroom, then that's fine.
Okay.
It would basically be if you
Like the
pulled the
kitchen.
wall of the master bedroom down, that could, or in my, however we end up deciding. I'm just curious.
So yes. So seems like the answer to that would be it. Yes.
So you would, okay, you'd be willing to consider?
Yeah.
Okay. I have no further questions.
All right, and I think Jack's letter speaks for itself, so if everybody's had a chance to read it, do you have any questions for Jack? Bill?
No, I'm okay.
Jessica? Jesse? Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Jack?
Nothing.
Anything
you.
else you
No,
guys?
thanks for hearing us.
Thank you for hearing us, yes.
Okay. And no other questions, right? So with that, I'll ask if there's anyone present that receives certified mail that wishes to testify, anyone present that receives regular mail, any other residents of Haverford Township, for the record. With that, we'll close the record on this case, and the decision will be rendered either this evening, and if not this evening, then at our next regularly scheduled meeting on August 4th. This case is closed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I thought there were still people sitting in here. That's who I was looking
Yeah,
for.
we have to do that for the record.
We're gonna go in recess, Chris. All right, with respect to case Z22-16, Rachel Sawa, owner of 2802 Belmont Avenue. Are you prepared to vote, Jesse?
I am.
Bill?
I am.
Jessica?
I am.
And Bill, would you please take that decision?
Sure. With respect to application Z22-16, I would vote to grant the requested variance, subject to the following conditions. The applicant shall not enclose the deck or add a roof over the deck. No utilities will be installed on the deck except for an electric outlet. And the project will be completed within 1 year of the date of this meeting per the notes of testimony.
Jessica?
I agree.
Jesse?
I agree.
So do I. That application is approved 4-0 with those conditions. With respect to case Z 22-17, Jeffrey Owens and Diana Caramatico, owners of 611 Lorraine Street. Bill, are you prepared to vote?
I am.
Jesse?
I am.
Jessica?
I am.
And so am I. Jessica, would you please take that decision?
Sure. I would vote to approve the application with the following conditions. The master bedroom and the area below on the first floor may encroach into the aggregate and side yard setback by 1 foot 10 and 10 inches respectively. The remainder of the new addition must comply with the aggregate and side yard setbacks. Water runoff will be directed so as not to adversely affect the neighbors, and the work will be complete within 1 year and in accordance with the notes of testimony.
Bill?
I agree.
Jesse?
I agree.
So do I. That application is approved 4-0 with those conditions. Unless anybody has any administrative matters or anything else to discuss, we are adjourned.
Thank you.